Hello everyone, welcome to Palmist. Today we're going to do a very important topic on spirituality. What does it mean? Where are the signs? What you need to do to get these signs activated. I'm going to discuss this in detail. Before we do, please subscribe and please keep in mind that what I'm showing you is just general. You need to see a lot of other things, which is the mounts, your other lines and things like that. What I'm showing you is the general analysis. If you have these signs and lines, you're on your way halfway there. But we need to check the other signs and everything else to make sure that you have the right lines and signs in your palm. And if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us, it's in the description box. Now, where do you see these spiritual signs? I'll show you some important signs, okay? The first one is called the intuition lines, which is starting from the moon mount like this, if you see here, and it goes up like this. People often who have signs like this always have a very good knowledge of the past life, and they have a very good idea of what's going to happen in the future. Something like this is a God-gifted line or the universe energy gifted lines. You can call it whatever you want. This is what this indicates. If you have something like this, consider yourself to be blessed. What this is trying to show is you have taken a form of spirituality in this life and it wants you to pursue that. Okay? Yes, but we do need materialistic gains, things like that. I understand that. But often as you get older and older, you should try going more and more towards spiritual enlightenment, or at least get close to that. This is what this indicates. People like this are very gifted. They can see the previous lives where they were born. They have a rough idea and also into the future what's going to happen. So this is a very, very good sign. Okay, this means that you're very close to spirituality. This is the first sign. Now the second sign is if you have a triangle in your Jupiter mount. This is your Jupiter mount here. If you have a triangle, a star, okay, a star like this, sorry. If you have something like this or a trident, signs like this, if you see here, independent without cuts or any gaps, if you see any of these signs here, this also indicates that there's a very high chance you can go into two different things. One is very highly spiritual, which can also give you moksha. Moksha means enlightenment, where you will not be reborn as a human again. Okay, that is one. Second thing is if you utilize it into materialistic, you can become a very popular, a big politician in life. These are the signs that you see. If somebody has this, they can go either ways, either a very big politician or a very big spiritual leader. This is what this indicates. This is another sign to get close to your spiritual world. Now, the third sign is if you see a ring here, right under here, you will see a ring here. Okay, it's called the Saturn ring. If you have something like this, this means you will go very high in spiritual world. These people will always get attracted to occult science, tantric, things like that, into black magic and things like that. Often, very, very few people, I would say out of 1,000,000 people, you will only see about 2 to 3 people have this. 2, maximum 3 people will have this. But often what happens is people like this take this sign into a very negative way. For example, when you do this and you start practicing tantric in terms of occult, you go into a very, see what happens is guys, when you go into a certain path, through your meditation, through severe isolation, you go into isolation and meditation. When you do that, what happens is there are things that you will see, normal people cannot see. Okay, there are entities which will come, there are entities, signs, things like that which you will see, which normal human being cannot see. So what happens is when somebody sees an entity, for example, you're in a cave or you're in an isolated place where you're practicing these things. And what happens is often, suddenly you will see a form, a formless forming, from nowhere you will see a form. Things like that will start happening. Often what happens is this becomes a blessing. Why? Because you haven't used those powers into something negative. Okay, so as you keep going, you still keep going further and further and further, you will start seeing other things. Okay, you will be able to perform things, you will be able to perform, you will be able to move objects, you will be able to what happens is, for let me give you a small example. Just say a person jumps from a building on the first floor. I'm not talking about 10 floors, I'm talking about first floor. The minute they jump, what happens is, normally people like you and me will just fall and collapse and probably break our bones. But people who have practiced and they go to the next level, in this level here, the minute they fall or they jump, what will happen is they come down very slowly and they fall on the ground. They don't fall, they normally sit on the ground very slowly, like in very slow motion. That is the kind of power these people hold. Okay, and there are again next levels, next levels, next levels like this. But let me get to this point here. The minute they come to this point and they can perform tricks, magic, you can call it, like, moving objects, seeing things, you can talk, you can think what you can see what other people are thinking. Often what happens is, when the person reaches the second stage, immediately what they do is they become hungry for material gains, which means for money. And often if you see these people, they will start performing black magic, tantric, which means they will be able to hurt somebody. All they need is something of yours which they can, severely damage your life. You can cripple you, it can even kill you. They get into things like that. And the minute they do this, the first, they, they perform this first thing and they hurt somebody because of materialistic, because he wants money or she wants money. What happens is the color of the palm immediately changes. You will see the person's palm has completely changed the color. Say, for example, you see this color here. What will happen is it will become a color like this. You see this part here? This part. The whole palm, you'll see patches like that. Here or here, like this. The color, it will be a lifeless palm. Okay, means that shine has gone, which means they've gone into the other side. When you do something like this, what happens is, often you will never be, you will be completely locked out of spiritual world, which means you will never be able to enter that place again. One. Second thing is, I don't know, they say that, it becomes, the next life you take will be in a very lower realms, maybe animals and things like that. But that's not yet been confirmed, so I don't want to say anything like that. But what I can say is, if they perform this, which they will most likely because of materialistic gains, they will start losing and they will never be able to reach that pure land, or whatever you call it. They will never be able to reach that. Okay, so that is another sign that you see. There are many more, but I'm going to show you one more. If you have something like this, this means another thing. Let me show you. Say here, this part here. Okay, it moves from the moon mount towards your Saturn. You will see lines here. People like this often get very scared when they start seeing things. People like this have a gift of seeing the dead, of seeing the world after death. Normally the more you have, the more you will see. The less you have, the less you will see. You will feel the presence. You'll have that sixth sense which will be very, very sharp. But if you have more lines, what this means is you will be able to see the person who's passed away. They will come and talk to you. You might talk to them. Things like that will start happening. What it's trying to say is, it's trying to make you move and use these abilities to do good for the people. Okay, so this is another sign that you can see. If you have something like this, you're considered to be blessed. So take advantage of that in terms of helping people. Okay, because also, guys, see, you might have all these signs, but the flow of energy in your body should also be aligned. Okay, for example, if your fire element in your body is disturbed, or your water element in your body is disturbed, or your air element in your body is disturbed, or the earth element in your body is disturbed, you cannot harness these energies. First, you need to channelize yourself first. Your mind, your body, everything needs to be aligned. Only then the effect of this, when the universe sends these energies through your fingers, that is when you will be able to absorb and be able to achieve those goals. Otherwise, they will just be another line when you have no clue about things, of what is happening around you. Even if you see, you'll probably think, oh my god, I think I was drunk, I was seeing things. Some things like that will start happening in your life. But if you can tap in and you can channel your body or your energies in your body into a perfect alignment, then you will start seeing the magic happen in your life. I hope this helps. Please subscribe. And if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us. It's in the description box. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.